Really cool news the Padres announced earlier today. Jake Peavy and John Moores will be inducted into the Padres Hall of Fame later this year, July 28th. That's a Friday. That is the date. It will be before the Padres take on the Texas Rangers at Petco. The 6:40 p.m. is the start time. Peavy and Moores will be the 18th and 19th members of the Padres Hall of Fame. Bruce Bochy is going to be in town, obviously, because he is the manager of the Texas Rangers. So I think there's great timing there. And I think this is long overdue for Jake Peavy. And you could say it's long overdue for John Moores as well. I'm not as familiar with John Moores as I am with Jake Peavy because John Moores, he ended up selling the team in, I think, 2012, and I was 9 years old at that time. But Jake Peavy, I've watched a ton of highlights of him. I know his stats, so I'm more familiar with him. Obviously, Jake Peavy, triple crown franchise history, first one only in franchise history. 2007 had a 2.54 ERA, won the Cy Young that year. I mean, tremendous, unanimous selection in that year. All-time franchise leader in strikeouts, second in winning percentage, tied second in wins with Randy Jones, third in starts, eighth in complete games, has 7 shutouts. I mean, struck out 16 batters twice, once against Atlanta, once against the Diamondbacks. And Joe Musgrove wears number 44. He's going to be into the Padres Hall of Fame when he is done. So there'll be both 44s in the Padres Hall of Fame. That is really, really super cool. I mean, Peavy, when you think of Padres pitchers, just in history, right? Now, I'm a younger fan, but some older fans, maybe they think of other names. But when I think of Padres pitchers just in history, what names come off the top of my head? It's Jake Peavy. It's Joe Musgrove, right? I'm naming some recent people. Now it's Trevor Hoffman. It's Randy Jones. It's Kevin Brown, right, from 98. Like, those are pitchers that I think of. I think of Heath Bell as well. He's a personal favorite of mine. But really, you think of like 5 guys. It's going to be Randy Jones. It's going to be Jake Peavy. It's going to be Trevor Hoffman. It's going to be Joe Musgrove. And then probably Kevin Brown is the 5th one. I know it was a short time here. Maybe it's someone else for you. Maybe Goose Gossage. Whoever it is for you, let me know in the comments. I love going back and forth with the fans in the comments, obviously. But those who you think of Jake Peavy, you know? So I'm super, super happy that he finally gets to be in the Padres Hall of Fame. I know he didn't win a World Series with the Padres, and his championships came with other organizations, and it included an NL West rival in the San Francisco Giants. But when you think of Jake Peavy's career, you think of him as a San Diego Padre. And he said as much in his statement here today. This honor means more to me than I'll ever be able to put into words. The Padres feel like home. This organization developed me professionally and helped mold me personally. When I was drafted by the Padres at 18 years old, I never could have imagined that some 20 years later, we'd be here. I'm so proud to be a Padre for life. And then with John Moores, he obviously deserves to be in the Padres Hall of Fame. Just reading up on him, ownership through 94 through 2012, 4 NL West titles, obviously the pennant in 98. And it's not just that. He was big in getting Petco Park done. You know, the design, the construction, approved in 98, right? There was the surrounding neighborhood that was redeveloped, right? And then decades later, it's the #1 ballpark in America. So, yeah, very well deserved from John Moores. Jake Peavy, obviously, getting into the Padres Hall of Fame. I think I answered this on a show during this offseason. Like, who is going to be that next Padres Hall of Famer? Or who should be? And Jake Peavy was that guy for me, like, easily. Jake Peavy. I was surprised that he wasn't in it already. And so, long overdue. Really, really cool that he's going to get to have that honor later this summer at Petco Park. He threw out the first pitch in one of the postseason games at Petco Park. That was cool to see. And hopefully he continues to be involved. The Padres continue to involve him in Padres activities. Could be in the community, just coming to a lot of games, helping out, maybe being a spring training instructor like Trevor Hoffman does, stuff like that. Continue to involve him because he was huge in this organization's history. So I'm really happy for both of these guys, their families, and cannot wait to be in the ballpark on that Friday night.